Thousands of dead fish have turned up in one Grand Island lake, prompting city and wildlife officials to launch an investigation. An angler ice fishing on Sucks Lake reported the fish kill to the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission just last week. NTV's Nina Harrelson joins us now live in studio with more on this fish kill. And Nina, what do officials think killed all these fish?
Well, Seth, officials from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission and the Grand Island Parks and Recreation Department say that low oxygen levels in the water were to blame for the die-off. And while they say this isn't an uncommon occurrence, it's a first for this lake. An estimated 2,000 dead fish float under a thick sheet of ice at Sucks Lake in Grand Island. And now wildlife officials are investigating exactly what could have led to the die-off.
We had an angler who went over there to the lake to ice fish last week, and when he started drilling holes through the ice to fish, he noticed some dead fish floating up through them.
A preliminary investigation revealed low oxygen levels were the reason for the fish kill.
We had oxygen levels of below 1 part per million, which is lethal to most fish species.
Eifert says one cause for those low oxygen levels could be the snow covering the lake's surface, making it impossible for fish to breathe.
The heavy snow cover inhibits sunlight penetration into the water, which doesn't allow the plants to photosynthesize and produce oxygen. So when that happens, the plants actually use oxygen, and oxygen levels drop fairly rapidly.
Officials say these kinds of die-offs aren't uncommon, but they usually occur later in the winter season.
Normally they happen later in the year. We haven't had ice for very long, and the snow cover really wasn't as thick as what we'd sometimes get. So it was a little unusual that way.
Also adding to the problem is the large number of geese that inhabit the lake.
Sometimes the waterfowl with the deposits in the lake sometimes can make the lake not as clear, and that reduces the visibility, reduces the light that gets into the lake. Then some of the plants don't grow, and that reduces the oxygen level.
So how will the die-off affect fishing at the popular lake?
There'll be less fish in there for anglers to catch this spring, and probably a lot smaller fish for people to catch.
But experts say it's likely that some of the fish will survive.
The ones that do survive will actually grow larger and will actually thrive a little bit more now that they'll have a little more space, a little more oxygen for them.
Officials plan to go into the lake in the spring when it thaws, remove all the dead fish, and restock the trout. But they say replacing the possible thousands of fish lost will be costly. At about $1.50 per fish, restocking the lake could add up to about $3,000.